Although psychotherapy exists in many forms, one thing almost all of them have in common is that they require effort and sacrifice from their clients. This effort feature of therapy has led to the basis that some of the improvements that come out of the therapy themselves could be coming from something known as justification analysis. The effort justification hypothesis, derived from the cognitive dissonance theory, states that when one feels personally responsible for undertaking an unpleasant effort, a state of dissonance thus arises. Dissonance is then reduced by attempting to justify the effort being expanded. Dissonance may be reduced through attitude changes, through the client's change in motivation towards the task. The client could be reasoning that they are going through the effort because they really want to improve themselves. Also, the participant could come to believe that the therapy has a greater likelihood of success if it is more effortful or appears to be more effortful. Because decision freedom is a variable crucial for the arousal of cognitive dissonance, a study previously done by Cooper showed that the results are consistent with dissonance interpretation of improvement. However, a manipulation of decision freedom also has its implication for a host of other factors, including perceived control and psychological reactance. A study by Axum and Cooper is also relevant, in which they expose overweight women to a therapy consisting of bogus cognitive tasks that were either high or low in effort. They found that the high effort subjects lost significantly more weight. These results are consistent with the effort justification interpretation. However, because of the ambiguities arising from the above studies, the question remains as to whether cognitive dissonance reduction actually accounts for the observed improvements from the therapy. This study focuses to see if dissonance mediates at least some of the improvements that accrue from therapy. In order to distinguish effort justification from alternative explanations mentioned prior, the researchers manipulated both magnitude of the therapy effort and decision freedom by entering the therapy. If alternative explanations based on a manipulation of effort are true, a main effect for effort should be observed. The same can be said for the decision freedom, in which the experimenters would predict a choice main effect. In contrast, however, according to dissonance theory, the commitment to a highly effortful therapy should lead to improvements only when decision freedom and high effort are together. A secondary aim of the study was to examine if therapy effort can have effects on therapeutic outcomes similar to those of the actual performance of effort. This is based off data collected by Arison and Mills, in which they showed that people experience dissonance without having to actually perform the effortful task, but rather by thinking about doing it is enough and has the same effect as actually performing the effort. Male and female undergraduate students at Rutgers University participated in the study. The experiment was advertised as a study in which investigates various ways of helping people overcome their fear of snakes. The researchers first had the participants do a runway approach, as they described it, which basically asked the participants to walk as close to the snake as they could in order to get a baseline. Within the study, anticipated effort and decision freedom were manipulated. For effort, the participants were divided into two groups. One group, the high effort condition, were told that the therapy can take several hours, but that we are only going to do 1 hour today because of the extreme nature of the procedure. The other group, the low effort condition, was told that there were other methods of reducing phobias that could take several hours at a time to finish. However, the one that they are about to take can be completed within an hour and is fairly simple. These groups are thus further divided into a high and low decision freedom condition. After the initial reading of the booklet, the high choice subjects were asked if they would like to continue on with the program now that they know more about it, or if they would like to leave, and that they are free to leave at any time, and if they do leave, they will still receive the $2 they were offered at the beginning. Whereas the low choice subjects were told that now that you know more about what this therapy is about, your session will begin shortly. The dependent variables that were measured were the runway tests, as mentioned prior, where the researchers reported how closely to the snake the participants could make it, and how long it took the participants to verbally express to the experimenter that they cannot get any closer. Participants' attitudes towards the snake were also measured. So, for example, they asked questions such as, how afraid are you of the snake? The motivation to continue on with the study and learn the techniques themselves was assessed. And lastly, the experimenters tested and measured the effort and choice as a way of doing manipulation checks of the independent variables. In both cases, the manipulations were successful. The results of the experiment are as follows. Subjects in the high effort condition expected the procedure to be significantly more effortful, and the subjects in the high choice condition felt more free to discontinue the experiment. Thus, both manipulations worked. Consistent with predictions, the greatest improvement occurred in the high effort, high choice condition. Also, the high effort, high choice condition saw the only significant difference from 0 for the approach distance to the snake. For motivation, they saw greater motivational change in the high effort, high choice condition. These results indicated that subjects were most able to change their behavior toward a phobic object and were most motivated to make that change under conditions that are likely to lead to dissonance, that being the high effort and high choice conditions. The results also suggest that the expectations about therapy effort can indeed produce changes similar to those seen when the effort is actually undertaken. One possible explanation of the data could be that self-perception is accounting for the improvements seen from the therapy and not cognitive dissonance. It is for this reason that another study must be done that accounts for arousal in order to better pull apart and support dissonance theory as the driving force behind the therapy effects.